Let's do
Hey everyone, welcome back to the second part of DreadLore tonight.
The second part.
Yeah, we are playing a one-shot, Dr. Drizz's Death Escape.
Dr. Drizz.
Yeah.
We should be able to hopefully get it done real quick here. Tonight we have me, the Drizzle, as the Arbiter. We have Hulker playing Elijah. We have Andrea playing Andrea. We have Jazzy Cabbage playing Jazzy Cabbage, and Max playing Max. And our lovely Bill as Butthole McGee.
But who? Name of Kings.
Yep, we like to people. Thanks to the music who you heard in the intermission there, all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Thanks to the Patreon people, Nostalgic Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Holker. Thanks to Couchfire Media for showing me how to get all this stuff up and going in his absence. And thanks to Terrible Productions for whatever they do.
Whatever they do, we don't.
And we didn't do this before, but Holker, who is the sponsor for this evening?
Our sponsor is Narcissus. A man so beautiful that he is too busy looking at himself to respond to my messages.
He's like on a Zoom call. He's just looking at his video, but no one else's.
Yeah.
Honestly, to be honest, I do that, but I only do that to make sure I'm making appropriate facial reactions.
Yeah, I turned my video off.
Don't they look crazy right now? Like, I'm obviously
turn it
scripting. Oh, I'm saying the complete opposite. Because, like, you know, when you're in an interview, so to speak, it's like you've thought of what the fuck you're going to say through the entire conversation. Or at least I do.
I didn't know.
Look, this guy, all I know about this guy is that he responds to himself and he CCs himself.
Oh, he sees himself.
Does he BCC himself?
Oh, man.
Thank
you, Holger.
Okay, so everyone has just exited the third room. Dr. Drizz comes over the PA and goes, "So we have 3 that have gone, and now it's time for the last 2. Who shall be next to be the volunteer?"
I will.
Yeah, I would go for it, Max and Jazzy.
Yeah. Okay, so what room are you picking? It looks like we'll have to move everything upstairs.
I will go upstairs, the leftmost.
The leftmost. There's only one room on the left side. So the door opens, you go in, and the door shuts real quick behind you. Right? So after a few minutes, the door creaks open just a little bit.
I will go in.
Okay.
Since I'm not a monster.
Yeah. You walk into this room. In this room, it looks like an old log cabin.
I leave.
Right? There's a fireplace sitting on one side. On top of the fireplace is like a little stuffed dog, and there's like a picture of like that you see in a hunting cabin with like the ducks flying. Over on the left side, you see a table. It's got 2 chairs. On the table, you do see a vial. This one glows like a light brownish color. There is also a pistol sitting on the table, and there are 2 bullets in it. Or there are 2 bullets sitting next to it, not in it. You look across the room. Suspended from the ceiling is a chair. On that chair, Max sits. There are large metal manacles around their forearms and their legs, but they're like the chair arms actually end early. Like they end about here on each of the chair arms, and the legs on the front are shorter because underneath them are bear traps. There are 2 bear traps on the floor underneath where their feet would go, and then there are 2 bear traps that would be just under where their hands would land when the chair hits the ground level. And your time has started.
Ah, shit. You okay, Max?
You're muted.
You're muted. They muted him, too. How'd they do that?
I feel like I'm pretty okay, but this is also a now problem.
Huh.
What if we take
Alright.
the gun
As you
to
look,
shoot the string that's holding the chair up?
as you look around the room, you do see on the ceiling there is a giant chandelier. On each side of the chandelier, in the middle of the room, it's one of those antler chandeliers, you know. It is a hunting type cabin. On each side of the chandelier, you do see some red buttons. There's also a third red button over just to the right of where Max is in the chair on the ceiling. And
Okay,
the ceiling is about 10 feet high.
Okay, so Max is at the end of the room.
Yep.
And straight up, there's a horned, antlered chandelier with 2 buttons.
There's a chandelier in the middle, and on the ceiling on either side of the chandelier are 2 buttons. And there's a third button just to the right. You're looking at the room just to the right of where Max is suspended, slowly lowering.
So
3 on the
3
ceiling.
buttons. Max is slowly lowering. There's a gun with 2 bullets. And over here, there's a fireplace with a dog that's stuffed on top and birds in a painting.
Yes. And the
How
table and 2
tall-
chairs over here.
How tall am I? Is Frankenstein?
I would say you are 6.5 feet. Wait, what's your height normally?
5'9".
5'9". You'd be.
They're saying I'm essentially 6'5" or 6'9". So I'm growing up a tall. In that case, if I were to lift up people to the chandelier, would I be able to? Is that feasibly something that could happen? Because it's a 10-foot. You said it's a 10-foot roof, or did I miss that?
Yes, it's a 10-foot roof. So yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to the fireplace as Frankenstein is doing that. Or the monster's doing that.
Lift up, go to chandelier. One at a time. Who goes first?
I go over to the table.
Okay.
Just grabbing at air.
Will, what
His name is Batol
Batol.
McGee.
What do you do?
Name of Kings.
Over by the fireplace.
You're recording, aren't you, Drizzle?
Yes.
Cool. I go to the fireplace. I'm gonna bid the fact that I'm coming of age. Everything's new to me. Everything's full of wonder.
Yeah.
As I'm gonna pick up the stuffed dog that's on top.
Okay. As you pick up the stuffed dog, you are sprayed with a brownish liquid. The vial over on the table, if anybody's paying attention, drops into the table. You start to you start to feel like you're growing, and you start to get itchy all over the place. and you start scratching. You're scratching,
hairy butthole.
and as you yes, as you are scratched, yep, you get a pip on that one.
Please don't turn it to an hemorrhoid.
As you are scratching, hair starts to grow all over your body.
I wanted to not be a monster.
Your fingers start to lengthen, and your nose starts to. It doesn't grow out very far, but it does protrude
snout.
just a little bit. Yes. You have picked up 5 plot armor. You get 2 to your brawn.
Hey.
Your 2 abilities are long jump and claws, and you get 2 werewolf traits.
Hey,
You make a sanity roll. Your threshold is only 2. Yeah.
So I get my die type for brawn goes up by 1 or 2.
By 1, you get a +2 to brawn, so it's a 1 die type.
I see.
I tried to make that. I asked Seaman for help on those bonus stats, and he did not.
Yeah,
text
you
me
mean
back.
a +1 to brawn, because he's thinking D&D. In D&D, a +2 would give you
Oh,
+2. The score would give you a +1. In D&D, in DreadLore is just a +1.
okay. Well, this
As
gives
in, you would gain a rank.
Well, this is making you get toon die. Is because I messed up, and I've messed up the whole night. So.
Oh, well, that means all of their stuff is bigger. But
Well, I don't know if they were doing it as a +2 or as a, because I said +2 every
Well.
time.
all right, well, you gain 2 ranks, which means whatever your rank is times 2 is your die type.
Yeah.
All right. Sanity roll.
Yes, and you only need a threshold of 2. Everybody else, you can roll your sanity rolls, and you get yours is a threshold of 3, unless Max you reactivate your ability, then it's only a threshold of 2 for Max.
I got 2 successes. I'm at limbo.
You're at limbo. Okay, so
I'm gonna do that.
you do get a derangement. It needs to be lycanthropy based.
Derangement or a flaw?
A flaw. Sorry, I meant to say flaw.
5.
You 5. So then you you don't get anything, and you get actually a narrative point because you're 2 over.
Oh yeah.
My flaw is shedding.
Hulker.
You know what?
Oh, Andrea.
I'm just gonna spend a breath. Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be easiest.
Then you get a flaw, and it can be wildlife based.
My 2 traits: night vision and roar. For the claws and the long jump, are we getting upgrades to it, or is it just
Yes.
the ability?
Uh,
I think I ended up with 4 there, right?
Is it +1 or 2?
And 7.
uh, plus
10 and a
1.
7.
Nobody's used them yet, so plus 1.
Will be
Uh,
3. 4 to 7 is, so if I roll
1.
a
That's a
7,
+1.
1.
It's
so it's
+1.
still a 1.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
That it's like the end of the threshold there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
4
was
to
trying
7
to
is
figure out.
1. 8 up is 2.
hey,
Okay, thank
hey,
you.
butthole.
Thank you. So I got 3. Sorry.
Okay. So you get a flaw, but not a derangement because you hit limbo.
Yes, little man.
Want to do Monster Mash?
Hold on.
Hey,
Hold on.
butthole.
Side note. Can y'all hear our dog bashing her Chewy against the hardwood floor? Like, do we
No.
need to
No.
stop?
It
that?
sounds like a poem. Can you hear our dog bashing her Chewy against the hardwood floor?
Well, she's literally ramming a hard Chewy against the hardwood floor, and it's really loud to us. And I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't.
It was the hardwood floor and the Chewy button. Anyway,
I
no, we can't hear.
move the pistol and the 2 bullets from the table to the chair.
I run towards
To the what?
Andrea. What are you doing with those bullets?
I'm putting them on the chair. And I put the pistol on the chair. And then I attempt to pick up the table.
Yeah. Give me a. Do you bid or
I'll just do a straight brawn
Yeah.
roll for this.
straight bond? Hoker, what was your sanity roll?
I got 1 success.
Okay, so you get a derangement and a wildlife-based flaw.
I'm gonna get the gun and load it.
You can, but that's hard with your werewolf claws.
Shut up.
Um,
I bid
I got
human.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. You can move the table, but it is very clunky. It's not like you can't pick the table up. You are having to
Cumbersome.
drag it. It's going as you're dragging it.
So
I will
across the
aid
table.
Andrea in this task.
Okay. So what aspect are you giving her?
I will bid American Werewolf. Oh, what I was right.
Yeah.
Bid American Werewolf to give her my brawn, which is a D8.
Okay. So roll a d8.
Me or her.
Her, because you're
Yeah.
giving her the die.
And it's an action die and the D8?
Oh no, she had already
I only
rolled.
got-
It's to add extra.
Oh, she already rolled.
Yeah. So I have now 3 successes total.
3 successes. Okay, so you can it starts out heavy and you're like, but once you start it going, you get it going pretty well. So
Okay.
where are you moving it to?
So I'm putting it sort of in front of where the bear traps are, and then I'm kicking it, or no, I'm not kicking it. I guess I'll, basically squat rack the, I'll get on my back and put my feet against the table, and I'll push it to underneath of Max.
Okay, it will cover the 2 on the floor, but the 2 that are on the side, it like that Max's hands would land in, it won't cover them because the
Okay.
table's not wide enough. Like it'll fit under, because this is just like a 1-man table. It's just heavy because it's built out of trees.
It's like an Amish table.
Yeah. So
It's like 400 pounds for no reason.
yeah. And
Good idea. What do
as
we do
this is
about the
going
hands?
on, Max is still lowering.
And then now that I've got that back in place, I'm gonna head over to the pistol.
Hey, Max,
And
do you need
load
your
it up.
hands?
What kind of pistol is it anyway?
You don't have the pistol. I have the pistol.
We
Oh,
didn't load it up though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I did
Oh, we
load
did,
it.
damn.
Your arms are tied, so you can't sign help.
I mean, you
don't
can
know.
talk.
Hey,
You're not gagged.
You
Yeah.
can talk. You're not. Yeah.
what kind of pistol is it though?
It's just
Oh,
a
look at it.
6-shooter.
Okay, revolver.
Oh, like an old timey guy.
Yeah.
Hey, butthole, can I see that pistol?
Yes, you can see it.
Can I have the pistol?
Why not?
Are the bullets silver?
What do you bid?
Uh,
So I can
Werewolf.
shoot a tree.
Werewolf? Yes, they are.
Why do you want to know? Why do you want it?
I'll shoot the bear traps.
Not a bad idea, but I don't know. You can kill me with these.
Hey,
I
butthole.
could, right?
uh,
But then
Max is getting
Uh,
lower.
I'll say,
okay, I'll tell you what. You can have the gun.
and I bite Andrea.
the fu-
I bid my fate. No, I bid my fate, which is the devil.
Okay. So you make an attack roll, and Andrea, you make a defense roll.
that is
While this is going
Great.
on, I'm gonna go try to get Max out of the chair.
Okay. These are metal clasps on, just so you know, on Max.
Oh, I have a plan. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm just letting you know it's metal. It's not like leather like beforehand and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I just since there's like an order of operations going on here, I didn't want to be like I walk up to this and do that. I was like I'm just in the background. I'm going towards the chair while they do their thing.
So I have 3 successes from my dice. And then I will bid a Scout's Honor to activate Warrior Upbringing for an extra 2 successes. So that brings me up to 5.
Warrior upbringing.
Right.
Yeah, that is so true. Fuck you.
And what is
Feel.
Warrior upbringing.
It's true, motherfucker.
I went to Shotokan Karate and I got a green belt with 2 stripes.
right?
Blue belt in Taekwondo.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. So explain, Andrea, how when he goes to bite you, you get out of the way.
Steven Seagal. Steven
When he
Seagal.
Dancing
goes,
bear activated.
when he goes to bite me, I'll actually move my hand basically around to the side of his face and sort of push him off to the side and like push him off to the side and move my body out of the way at the same time.
I sort of stumble off.
Wait a second. I want to do this real quick, and I'm going to pause the timer for this. Let's do a fate roll. Okay. Hulker, you pick one, and Max, you roll one, whichever you want.
I will be fortune.
Okay, so that makes
This is a
Max,
D100, correct?
yeah,
For fate.
that makes Max false fortune. Okay,
All right.
fortune on this. When Andrea shoves butthole, he just careens over into the chairs and stuff over on the other side. False fortune, when Andrea throws butthole, he crashes into the table and knocks it out of the way, so the bear traps are now exposed again. The feet bear
Yay.
traps.
Does the table like crash or like break or something? Or
Yes,
okay.
because you are now a werewolf, so you'll go through a table. And I just wanted
Okay.
to throw this aspect in
Also
here.
a Bills fan.
Holger, why don't you say what you got first?
All right, I'm going to roll. Here we go. 77.
34.
Okay,
Woo.
so timer starts back, and you hit the chairs and stuff instead of the table.
Oh no!
Here's the question: did you hand me the gun before you tried to bite me?
Yeah, I hand you the gun.
Okay.
So Jazzy, what are you doing?
There's a cabbage. Yeah, the cabbage is muted.
Yeah.
Muted cabbage.
I've been listening the whole time. What did you say?
I say samurai.
What are you doing? Because you were doing an action when they started
I didn't
fighting.
realize that you cut to me for the action. Okay, I apologize. So I am gonna look at Max. Embrace shock.
All right.
I'm gonna put a bunch of electricity into my hands, and I'm gonna try to overload the chair so that the metal.
You have electrical resistance, not electrical powers.
Oh, fuck. So like I'm a conduit rather than like being
You're
able to-
resistant.
right?
Yeah.
God damn it! All right, in that case, I'm gonna go brawn and try to rip these bastards open.
Okay. Roll your aspect die and your action die. To rip these off is going to be high. It's going to
Sure.
be a threshold of 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, so
Wait,
I'm gonna
with
use
the-
Lego Man.
Does that sound arbiter of the other game? Does that sound like a good threshold, or should it be
How difficult do you want it to be?
I want it to be difficult, but he's also using his advanced ability, so it needs to counterbalance that.
Do you want it to be like in terms of possibility, like it's possible but very, very unlikely, or just it's really difficult?
Really difficult.
Oh, 5 is great.
5. Okay, so a threshold of 5.
Cool. Because if it was over 5, my intention was to do like we did the other day, and I just keep throwing in proficiencies and engineer at it until because there was a desired outcome, so there was like a reason why I would throw perks and gear and
Right.
all that shit at it, just for clarification's sake. Yeah. So I'm gonna cast, not cast. I'm not a wizard. I'm just a giant green thing. I'm gonna use Lego Man, which has an upgrade. It's essentially being square and strong.
Yeah. Okay.
I like people that are like built like a square, like a little Lego Man. You're like, why are you so strong? It's like, oh yeah, gravity is like your balance. It works. Yeah. Tiny strong people. So that's one success, right? And then I need to roll my brawn and an action die.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I gotta clear it up.
4.
And then I get a +2 to. How do I pull up my character sheet again? I feel like your grandpa right now. I'm so sorry.
Right.
We're using the we tried to switch our character sheets over to the iPad, and I'm just getting familiar with like how to like swap between stuff.
There's action that there's.
Right, exactly. That's why I was like, help me out. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so my brawn is 7. So does that?
So your brawn of 7, roll a d12, and you get an automatic reroll on it.
Okay.
But it is a mulligan, so you have to take whatever you reroll. That's what it means when you have a higher than 6.
It's 7.
Got you. Okay, so I rolled the 2 successes, 3 with the 7, and then 1 with the ability that puts me at 4.
I will drop a cunning to pick myself up from the shit from the table wreckage, run over and attempt to help Jazzy, and I will bid. I'm going to give you my brawn, which is a D8, and I will bid a trait to do it. Long jump. I'll bid. So I actually leap over there, and I attempt to help you. So you get a D8 as well.
7. That's only 1 success. Does that put me in limbo? That was a 4.
threshold
No,
5.
7.
So that was
no, threshold 5.
That was an 8.
Oh, then that's threshold 6.
Oh, wait, sorry. No.
Yeah, that's an 8.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So
because it was a threshold of, you had the threshold of 5, so you have 8 successes now.
6.
No, I rolled
6.
I had 6 because I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Sorry.
So as you get over there, just in time, you proceed to rip the metal manacles off of the chair arms and the legs. You didn't have to really worry about, but as this was going on, like as Max is coming down, the front of the chair has hit the table and tipped it back some. So it kind of makes it easier for you because you're like, and you can hit both of them at the same time. You don't have to adjust the height or anything because he's tipped back now in the chair. And you get Max free, and the bear traps just kind of like recede down into the floor, and the floor covers up and the door opens.
So wait a minute, what do the buttons do?
You hear over the PA
So I
system.
guess we're all taking on Frankenstein voice.
You hear over the PA system. If you had touched them, you would have found out.
Touch his buttons, guys.
Okay.
Butthole. You really like some buttons, don't you, Butthole?
I do.
Hey, Butthole.
I try to bite Andrea again.
Butthole.
This is the point that I just point the gun at you because I didn't shoot him. So
Hey,
Okay.
hey, butthole.
Oh,
Can you smell your butthole?
no.
I've been calloused, which is my flaw.
Okay, so you guys exit out of the room.
Yeah, we walked
There
out.
is only one more room left to go. What'd you say, Hulker? I didn't hear you,
Are you
Hulker.
still
'cause
trying
I
to
was-
bite me?
Yeah.
Who's left to be sacrificed?
The arbiter was like, "Shut the fuck up. We're leaving the room."
I bid Shooter to say no.
You guys are ushered out of the room.
I was like, "Shut the hell up. Get out of here."
There's only one more room to go. So it looks like, Jazzy, it is your turn.
I keep the gun.
I bet you do.
Which room do you choose?
You said that this is officially the last room, correct?
Well, this is the last puzzle room.
Before the main room. Okay.
Exactly, yep.
Okay, so yeah, let's take on the last door then.
Well, there's 2 more doors left. You have 2 on the right side of the hallway. You can pick the first door you come to or the second door.
The furthest one away from the main room.
Okay, so the second door. Okay. Jazzy, this will be you first. And the door opens a little and you go in. Right? So the door shuts. After a few minutes, the door opens up. Do you guys walk in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it leaves
You
me there.
see a giant room. Sand is all over the floor. You see Jazzy. There is a stone dais in the middle of the room. Dais in the middle of the room. Jazzy is on it, and he is strapped in with metal bands across him. On the sides of the walls, you can see big giant stone. It looks like stonework here of all different sizes across the room. There is in the left corner of the room, you see a shovel and a pickaxe. In the right side of the room, there's a wooden crate that's opened, like one of them like fruit type crates that you would carry stuff in.
An apple box.
Yeah, like an apple box. And over on the left is another stone little pillar, small one, which has a vial sitting on it. This one is light tan in color.
So there's a shovel and a pickaxe to the right.
Or to the left.
To the left.
Yeah, sorry, because the camera's flipped. To the left, there's the pedestal to the left with the vial. On the right is an apple box. An apple box. Yep. Okay, sorry.
Where's the shovel and pickaxe?
They are on the left of the door.
Okay, so the left of the door, the shovel pickaxe.
And the
and
podium.
And the podium. To the right, there's an apple box. Straight ahead, Jazzy.
On a dais.
Sinking in sand. Oh, on a dais, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as the time starts, you see.
The whole looks over. Go on.
No, I'm saying this because you just said it. As the time starts, you see the dais start to slowly sink into the sand because that's where it was going. But okay, now go ahead, Bo.
He turns over to Andrea.
Oh, hey. You're the only one who's human. Go on.
No.
Thing.
No.
I still have my right
over.
voice because I am not.
I'm gonna hold up
like
the
these
pistol.
guys
Like,
are.
no, I'm taking care of this the other way.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You're both talking at the same time.
Uh,
Claws, because I have claws.
Can we get to the stone? The stone artifacts.
Okay, you notice that you're standing in the room and about 3 feet away from the door is when you see the stones start to take place. Behind that, it just looks like a blank Sanskrit wall type sort of thing.
So yeah, so I walk up, to the dais, and I look
Okay.
at the.
As you walk forward to where the stones are, the minute you step past that threshold, 2 of the stones start coming in on you.
As in fast?
Like how fast?
Like they are coming in pretty fast.
I grab
It's like a slamming
Andrea
door,
and-
basically.
Like they're coming
Like
in
they
pretty
smack her.
fast to
I
squash
grab
you.
Andrea and pull her back.
I push them both in. Okay.
Can I? I can. There. You said there
Here
are
we-
2 metal straps that are holding him onto the dais.
Yes. This is a smaller room. Sorry, this is me learning stuff. So this room is probably only 7 feet wide. As you come in, it is a smaller style room. I would it'd be easier to have drawn this stuff out, but
And then the left and the right wall are stone slabs.
are so 3 feet in, they just look like regular wall. But once you
see.
hit that 3-foot threshold,
I see.
you start to see it looks like stone blocks in different shapes and sizes. And so when Andrea stepped over that threshold, the 2 bottom stones started to come out to squish her.
I see. And I point at you Hulker, and I say, "You, throw me."
All right. I will attempt to
Okay.
throw.
Okay. That would be, give me a brawn. And
But can
Action
he didn't he get the boost to grace?
yeah, his is to grace.
Okay, so
shit.
quick question. I'm shooting my fucking shot. Matter of fact, from the table. Yeah,
So you gotta spin
discus.
cunning.
Discus
You
is a
gotta-
finesse.
You gotta
Yeah, I'm
spin
gonna
cunning.
I'm trying to. I'm
Interrupt
gonna
it.
use it. I'm gonna use cunning, and I want to do essentially interrupt
That you can do.
Elias's action, and remind him that if he throws her like a discus, it would be more finesse. So use your skills to your best ability.
I mean,
Not
I don't
strong,
think.
just graceful
There you
throw.
go. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So use grace and use
And I
your
will-
action die.
And I will say I'll aid him, because particularly if he's gonna throw me like a discus, I can sort of run alongside as he's sort of tossing me and help give him a little bit more momentum. So I'll give him my grace die for that,
I'm
which
gonna
is
aid.
a D6.
I'm gonna aid as well, but with my demeanor irritable, and I'm gonna bite Andrea as she's being thrown, so she can't dodge.
You're building resistance like a rubber man.
Wait, wouldn't that still be a roll off?
I don't do it. I'm kidding.
Hulker, it is a threshold of 5 to throw her all the way across.
One.
Jesus Christ.
No, really? Yeah, really? Shit. Oh no.
Yep.
He throws her. He's like, trips the trap and throws her in it. Ah!
So I
the
will
momentum of the
use-
throw pulls them both into the trap.
Spread the breath, man. Spread the breath.
Hulker,
Yeah.
you can do other stuff. You can add to your roll.
You have your roll.
So I will use an ability. and it's one I picked for my character with 2 upgrades. It's called If I Can See It, I Can Fake It.
Okay. When have you seen somebody be thrown?
Cheerleading.
Oh,
Alright,
wait,
guess
wait.
not.
Did he?
Oh, no.
No.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Jazzy Cabbage. Yeah, Jazzy Cabbage
Yeah.
threw somebody earlier. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you did see Jazzy Cabbage throw butthole earlier.
Oh, that's right.
If I can see it, I can fake it.
It gives you a D8, I believe. Might be a D10, but I think it's a D8.
Now the real question is this going to be an acceptable copy of what happened earlier?
It doesn't specify in the description.
It should be under exceptions.
Oh shit.
He just closed it right as you said that. So, like, while all of this is going on, I'm gonna be like, need help? No one die? Or you could
Yeah,
possibly
that doesn't
hurry up?
What did
Yes. Frank, launch.
Nani?
So what are you at right now for successes, Hulker?
Yeah, you're right, Hulker. It gives you a +2, and you're on that page too. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that would be a 3, and I'm going to use my 2 proficiencies to re-roll to the die.
You are.
That gets me at 4.
Did Jazzy aid you?
Yeah, because I suggested. So
Yeah.
my. Oh wait, hold on a second. I actually do need to ask a clarifying question. Because I thought that my aid was to switch it from strength to grace. I didn't know that I would have further influence beyond that point.
Oh, that's up to Drizzle.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean to switch it from?
So initially the throw was strength, or I'm sorry, brawn based, and so by doing my aid action, I suggested that they switched
Right.
it to a graceful style. Now the ultimate question here is, do I have an aid action beyond my suggestion? That's what Butthole is asking.
If you bid something else, you can still give a die. Because you didn't give a die, you just suggested a change earlier. So
I
you can
suggested a
still
switch up, okay.
you can still bid a trait and give an actual die to help. Because quite frankly, earlier your helping was just suggesting to try something else. That's regular talking.
Don't do it. She's gonna shoot us all.
Yeah. She
Okay,
doesn't have
so
enough bullets.
in that case, I am going to give him an aid. My grace die is a D8 because it's a 4.
Yep.
That's a 1.
So as this is going on, Jazzy's like still sinking into the. He's like, no, do it this way. Do it this way. I'm going down. So you only ended up with a 4?
Yeah, I'm still at 4.
Okay. So you pick up Andrea and you're swinging around discus style, holding her by the hands. It looks like a dance move, but you're swinging and she's lifting up. And then you yeet her. And so because of the spinning circle, she's actually like flying like this through the air.
Like a throwing star.
Yeah. And she lands
Like
about
an
That's
air
okay.
fish.
I've been there before.
and she lands about 5 feet too early. And 2 of the stone blocks they come out pretty quick. You're like, wow, but then they stop right before they get to her, and then they slowly start to compress, and they are
Oh,
pushing
lovely.
together on her as she's in there. Andrea, roll me, or wait, no, Hulker, since you threw her, roll me a D4.
A D4?
Yep,
Oh no. 2.
2. So Andrea, it is as it's starting to crush you and press you, you take 3 damage.
Ow. My boobs already hurt just from thinking about it.
Yee. Where you are.
I'm gonna grab the grab the shovel or the pick. I'm gonna grab the shovel.
Shovel.
Tink, off the wall.
Okay. And what are you gonna do?
I'm then gonna go. Cowabunga! It's like a long jump across the thing
And,
and try to land on the other side.
and what do you
I'm gonna
bid to do
bid.
that?
I'm gonna bid Exodus.
Exodus. Okay. Being a werewolf, and you have, because it's your ability with a +2, you only need a 3. A
3
threshold of
successes?
3. Yep.
Okay. And is this Grace or Brawn to jump?
This would be Grace.
Okay.
Well, you could either one, whichever one you want.
Well, then I'll do Brawn because I
Yeah.
think jumping is more strength based.
Yeah.
Exodus gives me a +2. So I'm at 3 successes. I'm gonna drop a learning because I'm learning to be a werewolf.
Yeah.
A learning experience. And I'm at another. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. So you completely leap over the whole patch. You're over to the other side by the dais.
I'll drop a point of cunning if possible, and reach out, grabbing Andrea by her head and pulling her out of dangers if possible, or by her shoulders.
You can. You don't have to spend cunning to do it because you were jumping after she's already been squished partially. So, but you what are you bidding to do that?
I'll bid my demeanor, which is irritable. I am unhappy she's a human still.
Yeah.
And everybody else got turned into monsters. So I kind of want her to get turned into a monster and not a human, and not get crushed.
Okay. So as you start to pull her, do me a brawn throwdown. This is only a threshold of 3, but it is a little because she's being compressed. So
Okay.
you're trying to pull something that's being squeezed.
So 3 successes on the dice, and I will I will bid my claws to gain a 4th success, which means I probably cut her in the process.
So explain how you use your claws to rip her out of between these 2 blocks.
So not really knowing my own strength, but being no, I do. I'm irritable as with my extended claws I go and grab you by the shoulders and just pull you over. It's
Okay.
just like a cat's claws, but I'm a fucking werewolf.
Yeah. So Andrea, you will take 1 extra damage just because he used his claws. His
He is
claws.
wild hair flip.
Okay. As you pull Andrea out of the way, the blocks then start to recede back into the wall.
Ow.
Sorry, here's a shovel.
Don't need the shovel, and I walk over to the dais. Is there
It's
like
called
a
a
clear
dais.
hinge on this dais?
Yes. You
know
see
what?
you see 2 metal bars going across him, and there are like on one side is the hinge, and on the other side is actually 2 padlocks that are holding it closed.
Okay. So I'll point the pistol at, basically right on the first padlock, but also like at it's hard to explain, like a deflection angle. So that way I'm not, like it's not going to hit anybody else. And then I pull the trigger on the first one.
Okay. What do you bid to do that?
For this one, I feel like Farm Kid works for that because you shoot a lot of guns as a Farm Kid.
Okay. You blow the lock off.
Ping. Ow.
And then I walk over to the next one. And for that one, I'll bid. No, that doesn't work. Actually, what? I'm just gonna bid my ability warrior upbringing. That makes sense to bid.
Okay. And you blow that lock off. As that happens,
Go.
the two metal clasps come over, and the door opens.
Help up, slide off table.
Okay. As you go out, as you exit the room, you notice that the big door that was at the top of the stairs now is sitting a little bit open.
I run in there.
Okay. As you open the door, you see this grand looking study. There sitting at a table is Dr. Drizz himself. As you walk in, let's see if this, I'm seeing if this works on the thing. You see him sitting there at the table. You come in, there's shelves along each of the walls, and you notice behind him what looks to be a, like, I would call it a sitting nook, to where, like, you know how you go out and you sit and, like, there's glass all around it, like a sitting type nook behind him. And he's sitting there, and he stands up and he's like, "Congratulations! I see that you have completed all of my trials and made your escape out of the room. I noticed 4 out of 5 of you accepted the gifts that I gave you."
I didn't really accept a gift, but I got peed on by a dog.
Well, but you
I got
accepted the
peed on by a
gifts.
fish.
Now, here's the
Fish
thing. I'm trying to make society and people better. If you want to accept the gifts I gave you, then you can come with me. If you do not like what happened to you, you'll just have to stay here. And after 5 minutes, the antidote will be released in this room, and you will be returned to normal. You have 5 minutes to decide what you're going to do.
Being a werewolf, I'll come with you.
Okay.
Chicken, is it okay if I be Frankenstein?
I feel like the whole antidote thing is a trick. It sounds like a gas room.
I feel like scaling up, so I'm gonna stay.
You feel like what?
Do I get to be free as Frankenstein?
I feel like scaling up. So yeah,
So I have 2 so far that have said yes. We've got Gilman and Frankenstein.
Did you agree?
Well, me too. I said, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yes,
go.
yes, and Werewolf.
I'm gonna agree because the antidote sounds too much like a gas room.
Okay, so I have 4. So the one person who did not accept my gift, are you going to stay behind?
I mean, like, as opposed to what? I thought we got didn't. I thought I kind of got
Well,
ruled out by the implication.
No, you can still take a gift. I have the vials, and you see out of the desk, this little thing opens up, and you see 2 vials come up. One is the tannish looking one from the last room you just went into. And then another one looks like a fluorescent white. You can still accept a gift and come with us. Or you can stay here.
And what do the other two do?
Well, that just depends on what you pick. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. Where's the fun in that?
You know what? Fuck it. I'll give me the white vial.
Okay, so you take the white vial. As you take the white vial,
You become white.
you
Caucasian.
you
Caucasian
you feel weird. You feel lighter than your normal self.
Oh, you turned into a ghost.
Way to ruin it, Will.
You did.
So you now you pick up the 5 plot armor and you get 2 to your grace. Your abilities are pass through and levitate. And you get 2 ghost traits.
I'm sorry, Drizzle.
Yep.
So did she turn like really, really white? Like she's like,
She's just translucent.
You turned into a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh no, you died.
And I'm like, come, follow me. And I go back into the sitting nook. And you guys follow?
Yep,
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, so everybody
did.
follows in.
I bid my flaw shedding, and there's a big pile of fur where I was.
So you all go in. The doors shut, which you didn't notice there were doors there, but the doors shut. And as you can see all around you, it's all glass. The room itself starts to lower. And when it gets to ground floor, it just takes off. And you have joined Dr. Drizz and are going off with him as new creations of his.
So, Dr. Drizz, what would have happened if we stayed?
If you had stayed in the room, the whole house was going to collapse on you.
So Max was right. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Werewolf,
Max was right.
Werewolf high fives the devil.
Yeah, because it was
Are
all.
we just your freak show now, Dr. Drizzle?
No,
You're dumbass.
you are
No, I'm not.
better.
You're dumbass. You're great horse man.
You are better than human. You are enhanced.
I
It's
just
my
reached out
job.
and squished his skull.
Huh?
I just reached out with both my palms and go, and make his head a grape.
Okay. Roll
I'm just
attack.
kidding.
All right, it's
Okay, fuck it. No,
Yep.
fuck it. I'll squish the doctor's skull. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
I'm in the back dancing.
Just monster mashing.
What's going on?
For the record, for y'all doing thriller hands, I did thriller for like 8 years of my dancing career. There is a standardized thriller, just so you know. There's a
Yeah.
standardized thriller dance.
I had to learn it for a wedding because that was their wedding dance. We had to do Thriller.
There's literally like a dance from the video that's considered like the dance.
Oh wow.
And it was in the Guinness Book of World Records because there's actually like a thing where everybody did, like a bunch of people did Thriller at the same time, kind of like when people did Smoke on the Water at the same time.
Wow.
And that's where it came from.
Huh.
They had to standardize a dance for that.
Good night,
But
Andrea.
thanks a lot, Drizzle. That was a lot of fun.
What's
Bye,
up?
Andrea.
Drizzle.
Good job.
Thank you.
Catch you guys
Good job,
next
Drizzle.
time.
Later.
So what am I rolling? I'm rolling brawn.
You're
and,
rolling
and,
brawn and action die.
and my action die.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got a let's see, 4, so 2, and then so it's what's the next group after 4 to 7?
8 and up is 2 successes.
Okay, cool. So I have 4.
You have 4 successes. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Drizz was not expecting it, so you get to add +4 to your damage roll. You get a. So what would just hand crushing be? That would be a D4 +1.
It'd be just as brawn.
But didn't I get the gloves that make the squish? I get the strong hands.
You
said
get the
something
strong
about
hands,
unarmed.
yes. So you get So you get 4.
So normally with unarmed attacks, it's whatever the whatever successes are beyond the threshold, and I believe I think it's a D4. And then if you have the ability, meaning that, or if you have like claws or something that actually,
Right.
would do lethal damage, I've always run it as you just roll your brawn. So it's that die plus whatever the success.
Okay. So roll your brawn, and it's +4, and I'll give you +1 on your fists. So that's +5 right now.
So I got an 8 on my
Okay. So
brawn roll.
So you passed. So you reach over and you grab Dr. Drizz's head, and you using your big. I would let you describe it, but I can't. You using your big meaty paws start to squeeze his head, and you're like, this is. You feel that it's weird than normal, but you're squishing his head, and as you squish his head, electronic bits start flying out, and you crush his head just to realize it's an animatronic, and Dr. Drizz's voice comes over the speaker and goes, "You don't think I'd really be there with you, did you?" And now gas pumps into this little octagon, and you all go to sleep.
Oh, good job.
When fist fighting or combating hand to hand, bit and throw down is normal. There's no damage die specific to unarmed combat. Simply add the successes from your action and aspect die rolls, plus any other additional successes you might gain in the typical fashion. Damage is dealt if the thresholds are met or are beaten as normal. And then the idea is if you have something that would give you an actual damage die, then you do.
Yeah, the reason why because this was an animatronic all along, so the minute you attacked it, I was gonna let you defeat it.
Smush it.
Yep.
My instinct told me that it was a robot. I just wanted to. It's one of those things where it's like I needed confirmation that we're being fucked.
Well, in all fairness, you wouldn't have been if you hadn't have crushed me. If you hadn't have attacked Dr. Drizz, it would have just gone on, and you would have been basically let free, and not let free, but like you would have been like, hey, you're now a monster, that sort of stuff. But because you did attack me, that's why everybody got gassed. So now technically you guys are gonna be in cells.
In what?
In cells.
Oh.
Like you're going to be trapped in a cell.
Oh no,
Basically,
I'm an incel. Oh, I'm the far right.
No, how many?
Oh yeah, I'm not allowed to say that on Twitch. Oops.
Oh shit, you're right. The new privacy act.
Whatever.
I do think it's hilarious that you let me smush the animatronic just to be wrong. I fucking dig it. Also, I just want to shout out, Drizzle, you crushed it tonight, my guy. Great job. And
thank you.
You did so good.
Thank you. I don't know. I was
standing ovation
gonna show you his pee-pee.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
You get the.
You can go upstairs and get
well,
mine.
good salute, Drizzle.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
But you did a great job tonight, Drizzle. Thank
Welcome
you.
Thank
to the
you.
stream.
yeah, that's the first. Like I said, first time I've ever run one. I now know what the flaws are in it, but
There are no flaws in DreadLore.
well, no, well, our flaws are in my plan.
There are no flaws.
You mean
Yeah.
DREADIES.
Yeah, Drizzle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have to run every week because I'm done.
Yeah.
Close.
Any criticism, let me know because that's how it makes me a better version of this.
You had to rush a little bit, so like my one. Okay, I just want to tell you, we ran out of time.
Okay.
There wasn't an issue.
You're kind of cutting out, Max,
Like,
for some reason.
yeah.
You're cutting out. Hold on.
Okay, so first of all, I'm cutting out. You're cutting out. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying was it's a beginner's thing of like pacing is what you're saying. Of like it went like the 3-act system, parts of it went too long and we rushed at the end.
Essentially, we ran out of time because there was a couple of times where we kind of fucked around, which happens when you have a lot of find out going on. You know what I mean?
There was a 20-minute time limit on each room. And
we went over on one of them, right?
The only one you went over on was the Frankenstein room. That's why it started blasting the table. Like the way the game was going to work was if you went over 20 minutes in a single room, the person in the trap was going to actually start getting harmed.
Okay.
And so that's why like when Hulker was on the table, he was getting mild shocks, but it didn't do anything. But then when he when it built up and zapped him and he actually had harm done to him, that was after the 20 minutes. So because I was running a timer the whole time. You had 20 minutes in every room. And that was the only one that you ran over the 20-minute time. Well, in all fairness, in the werewolf one, you were kind of over the time limit on it, but with the table and the chair shifting, you were only like a minute over the time limit on it. So with the table and the chair shifting, like I thought about cutting off one of your fingers, Max, but I didn't do that because it was only like a minute over. So like I was timing each room. You had 20 minutes to kind of solve it in.
Hulker, any praises, criticisms, etc.?
I thought it was great. I think puzzles are really hard to do in role playing, and I think you did a good job.
Well, in all fairness, all of the puzzles were a lot simpler than you were kind of making them out to be. Like in the werewolf room, all you had to do was touch, because I give you a werewolf.
You had to touch the 3 buttons at the same time?
No, you just had to hit all 3 buttons. Because it was going to be really hard to do it without taking the power. Every room, if you took the power, you could easily solve the puzzles.
So really, Jazzy Cabbage had the answer from the very beginning of the werewolf room.
Yeah, he was going to try to lift people up to.
Yes.
It was literally, I will pick you up and touch all the buttons. That was the answer, and we were like, the rest of us were like, oh, we're gonna do shit.
Yeah.
I was like, but I just.
Escape room role play would be a lot more fun if we had like in-action puzzles like in front of us, but that would be so much more complicated.
Oh, sweet
Well,
Jesus! I don't even know how can
puzzles are hard.
And like
It would be fun to like design like I like to I like to be a game maker because I do it for work. And it would be fun to have like an IKEA base, like you set up the puzzle, but somehow the setup of the puzzle doesn't tell you how to solve it. Like you put it together, and then the solving of it is only in part of the game.
That's cool. Yeah. That'd be really neat.
Because I'm not gonna lie, the whole in the witches one with the devil, The only reason that book showed you the way through was because I thought it was a cool idea. The
'Cause
book,
what?
the Bible, showing you the way through was because you said, I looked through it and I'm like, oh well, that's a cool idea, so I used it. And in reality,
no.
that was every room had a vial or another way to dose you.
Oh, that was the other way to dose
That
you.
was the
Damn.
other way to dose you. That's what I was
When
leaning
I went to
towards.
shoot the marlin and I missed, I say I could have been the gill person, is what you're saying.
Well, yes. When I asked, do you go, because you were talking about reloading it, and I was gonna be like, do you go pick the bolt up? Because if you had gone and pulled the bolt out of the wall, the marlin would have shot you. But
So
Holker went there first
Oh.
and tried to remove the marlin.
So what was the answer to the devil room?
The devil. Oh, it was just for her to get the power and go across. If you had tried to go in there and solve it without getting the antidote, it was going to be a lot of trial and error, like finding spot to get through.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So it was going to be like,
So there wasn't a way to do it. You had to run through the fire.
well, no, like you could have. It's kind of the cacao would tell you to move.
I
But
see.
because Max was the first
Like
one to walk
fire
through,
swamp style. Okay.
yeah, because
I
Max
dig it.
was the first one to walk through, I didn't necessarily do that
see.
because
Yeah, I
Max
dig
is already fire resistant.
it. The only criticism
Yeah.
that I have.
No, go ahead, tell me. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done it. So.
Yeah. I think you were filling out the system, and I
Yeah.
think you did really well. The damage, I would have given at least a D6,
Oh.
if not 2D6 or 2D4. Because the first time that you're like, see, the players are always testing out what's this going to be like. So the moment like Holker got electrocuted, I'd be like, roll 2D4, and that's the damage. And then we're all like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that wasn't a lot to lose here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we
And
also
then, like,
rolled.
anyone who's
hold on. I
around
want to
takes a D4.
I want to
like-
throw a to be fair into the system. When it came, we rolled shitty sometimes, but the only times that we rolled well was when it came down to the damage. Everybody throughout the evening rolled well at damage time.
And I was going to, and in all fairness, like, I would know what your plot armor was. And I
Yeah.
didn't want to make it as, because
No, I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
I also did want to make it seem like this was more an escape room and the damage wasn't going to hurt you as bad.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. It's just there were a couple moments of there's a sweet spot of damage.
Yeah.
You know, if it's overwhelming, then you're like, oh shit, well we want to, you know, you're scared of the room. It needs to have a little bit more of the stakes.
Okay.
Split the difference. Or
Yeah.
take away our powers when we, there's something I had considered as we went forward is like, as you leave the room, we lose our powers. Therefore, we can't use our powers in the next room.
Well, that was something that.
So, from a behaviorist point of view,
Sorry.
because like we had a continuous reinforcement if somebody was going to get some kind of power up that didn't really cause us any disadvantage anywhere else. But I feel like the reinforcement could have been a little bit more intermittent, because that would have gotten more of a buy-in. Because like some of the potions could have been like bad for us.
Right.
Or there was a puzzle involving the potions where you could potentially take the wrong potion and there's consequences.
Like the
That's
idea
what
of,
I'm saying.
like the idea of like, let's say Jazzy turns into Frankenstein's monster, and it's like, cool, exactly what happened happens. And then every so often, Drizzle, maybe you would be like, okay, make a sanity roll, and if you fail it, you look
Oh.
around Jazzy and you see all these humans who look like they want to get squished.
I thought
Yeah.
about that as well, to put like a losing the sanity in it.
Yeah. Like something along those lines of suddenly you have the taste of blood in your mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
A continuous check to make sure that you're not going to fuck your friends up.
Yeah. I like.
No, it was
I had
great.
thought
It
about
was great.
that, but I didn't know for sure.
This what we're talking about here is these are all semantics. It's like
Yeah.
we had a good first run, but we're trying to figure out ways to make it more challenging.
That's what, because my original idea for this was I wanted 8 different rooms, and so far I've
Yeah.
only been able to come up with 6. The stone room. Does anybody know what it was?
The answer to it?
What the monster was?
Oh, mummy.
Nope.
Oh.
Then no.
If you had gone over to the apple crate and looked inside, there would have been a little tiny scroll. And that little tiny scroll is what would have dosed you in that room. Do you know what it is now? Because of the little tiny scroll?
Let me think. Well, we're obviously missing the vampire, but just in monster wise. But I was thinking, is that the stone room? I'm thinking of the sand room.
Yeah,
Oh, the stone room is the sand room.
Yeah,
I thought it was a mummy.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys have any idea?
Mm-mm.
My guess was also mummy.
Let me think. You say there's a scroll in an apple box.
A small little scroll, like a little scroll.
I mean, I seriously, like, mummy is like Egyptian is what I'm getting. What monster is about scrolls and stuff? An oni? I don't know.
Death Note.
No, it's a
A
golem.
wizard.
Huh?
Golem?
A golem. Because the way you make a golem is you take the little tiny scroll and put it into a clay figure, and then that clay figure comes to life. And so basically the idea was you become a golem, you go in there and the stone squish you and come back and you're fine.
I see. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So Andrea avoiding the potion.
Yeah, Andrea won.
Essentially, she's the only one that was human.
She became a ghost at the end.
Oh, well, that's right. At the end, she didn't become a ghost. So essentially, the whole crew became something.
There was no way to get out of it, though, right?
Well, no. If you guys had not came with me, like I said, the house was going to start to crumble and fall down. You could have then escaped and still made it out. But it is not. There is no antidote.
Yeah, you're just fucked.
Yeah, but it's like you have the ability to try and make it out of the house. So it would have been.
So something that I really like about this is that you can run this. Okay, there's a show that we really like. It's an improv show called Game Changer, and something that I really they did a deja vu episode, and what they did is essentially in the beginning the puzzle seems impossible. Yeah. But by the time you get to the 4th or 5th run at that puzzle, because you've been fucking up, all the answers start to make sense.
So some of the deja vu episode was like the answers seemed very simple, and then as you continued the process, the answers became dependent on prior knowledge.
Are you paying attention?
Yeah, like there was a math equation where initially it was what does x equal, and then once you figure that out, it's like y equals x plus whatever, and you use what x equals to figure out what y equals.
Right.
And then eventually the equation is all symbols.
Yeah. So this was.
I hope that makes sense. I'm spitballing.
No. I understand.
Okay.
Like, and the point of the whole reason I wanted to start this was I was gonna call it advanced actor training, because I do actor training for the haunted house. And then this was going to be like, because I do think that D&D and DreadLore and all RPGs help you to be a better actor because you immerse yourself into the role. And so I wanted to use this as a way to teach people who help advance.
They help with improv because they give you a specific mechanics that you have to be tied by, and that gives you some security. But then it also gives you room for creativity. So you have these things that you know that you have to stand by and that everybody else has to stand by. and there's a little bit of comfort in that, knowing that everybody has their box to be in, but that you can also be outside that box,
So
and that you can choose when you do that.
my recommendation is you give everybody a card of what they think, like the werewolf, the Frankenstein, the fire chicken, whatever. Everybody picks a card, right? You understand what I'm trying to say here? They get the card for the specific ailment that you get before the game ever starts, and then when it comes to the game time, you give them the exact opposite of whatever the fuck they picked, because you're testing whether or not they're capable of acting inside of a role that's not something they would have picked on their own. So essentially, you're like, you picked the rock monster because you felt like you could do this. Well, yeah, fuck you. You're the fire monster, the Frankenstein.
Let me take what you're saying and give it to be in like a general instruction. Like, set in place the things that you want to be steady, and make creative the skills that they need to be working on. Because you, as the arbiter, can do that.
Yeah.
Which you did a great job of tonight. Like, you kind of metered us a lot. Like, with those of us that chose to take the power, you're like, you can't just fucking go in there and rip them off. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because there could have been opportunities for, like, if this was a medium for acting, I mean, like, being in front of a webcam, it's a lot harder. But, like, there was a lot of opportunities for real acting there.
Well,
Right.
like there's because I've done escape rooms. Like I've built escape rooms and I've ran escape rooms, so that's kind of it is my wheelhouse. And I knew going into this, because there's one thing that if you run an escape room, you will learn. People are A, really dumb, and people are B, extremely smart. Because sometimes you'll get a situation and you're like, here's the answer, and then they'll do everything but that. But then you'll have the point where like you're like, holy crap, I didn't think of that at all to solve this puzzle.
So I want to say this. This is also, I'm a behavior therapist. That is my job. I run into that all the time in the frame of I will give a directive or ask a question, and then when I get the response from that, it tells me that in fact, like what I said was not at all helpful. Like, for example, like my client once was looking for their phone, and I, forgetting about symbolic language, I said, okay, you sweep the living room and I'm gonna sweep this room. And I don't think about it for like a solid minute and a half until I hear from the other room a lot of frustration. So I go to like investigate, and this person says, I can't find the broom. And that's when I put it together.
Yeah.
That I said sweep. And I literally fall on the floor laughing. And they think that I'm laughing at them. And I'm like, no, I'm laughing at my instruction, because I should have known that when I said sweep, that wasn't clear. That I meant sweep with your eyeballs.
See, like,
yeah, you have a lot of control over the literal definition of success in this.
Yeah.
It did not occur to me for Andrea to put the table over top the bear traps. And so that's why I was like, the table's smaller.
What was it? Schrodinger's cat? The thing where
It's not certain until you open the box whether the cat is dead or alive. Is that what you're saying? It has
explain the concept so I'm not sounding like a crazy person.
So it's the probability. If you have like a lethal substance in the box with the cat has an equal chance of being alive as it does dead up until you open that box.
Yeah, until you observe it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of you. This is a great example of like how you get. The more you run this is what I'm excited about for you. This is what I was trying to say initially. Is like the more that you run this, and the more patterns. And I would track. My recommendation to you, and he'll probably tell you the same thing. Track the behavioral patterns.
I like data. So I believe that I would.
What you'll notice is that you'll be able to adjust the story to find the right behavioral qualifications for your job. because you'll be able to like essentially what I'm trying to say is like something that I was really good at when I was like a health and safety officer was like I could walk into a room and tell you who gave a fuck. Like instantly. I didn't have to talk to a single fucking person. I knew who gave a fuck. Right away.
So you're saying being an arbiter is more about being able to assess the behaviors of the people at the table?
Especially in an escape room setting, because what you're trying to do is see if these people are capable of coming up with a solution on their own in character.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, at the beginning, I changed that because the catalyst was in the drinks, but two of you didn't drink it. So it was going to be that was the catalyst. And then when you did the vial, it picked, but you guys didn't drink it. So I was like changing that real quick. So I just made the drink.
Mystery true. I know better.
Yeah, my instinct was not to trust the nurse. I was like, this seems super wrong.
Shows we did was bourbon and belladonna.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's So if you have ideas for 2 more monsters that I can make rooms off of, that's what it is.
Well, a vampire is one.
Well, I didn't want to. I was having trouble.
Have you heard of a skinwalker?
Yes.
A poison plant would also be helpful.
So my suggestion to you is to do a skinwalker because the thing is,
every room has to have a puzzle that benefits. See, that was my problem with a vampire, is because what kind of trap could you put someone in a puzzle base that a vampire would help that nobody else could? See, that's kind of the situation.
Pain, so it's like blood, like essentially that person is having blood drawn through an obstacle course or whatever. See, the reason I suggested Skinwalker is because it's one of those situations where it's like you could go into a dark room and you hear that something that sounds adjacent to a person that you know leading you into the dark.
So you're saying psychological damage?
Because a Wendigo or a Skinwalker and it is going to be all psychological. I mean, if there's a great Skinwalker Ranch. There's a lot of research on like how just the straight fear psychology of a Skinwalker will affect people's reaction to the environment.
But what kind of damage in the room would a Skinwalker be resistant to that people wouldn't? See, that's what I'm looking at.
Psychological. Because it's all mind games. Because the whole point of a Skinwalker, okay, so maybe let me approach this at a different angle. Like, it would look like as if, like, say you're walking in the woods and you've seen deer, and you're like, oh, look, I'm in a safe place because deer are here, because you're a hunter, right? So you know it's like, oh, shit, there's deer here, I'm safe. But then a deer walks out of the woods on its back 2 feet. And you're like, that's shitting the deer.
You could create a situation where somebody turns into a Wendigo and everybody else comes across things that fear them, like that are their fears, and the Wendigo is resistant to. Also, separate idea, you could do botanical poison and then have the potion turn somebody into a plant that we have to figure out how to bloom for the end of it.
Yeah, now that I could do with a poison, like poison ivy-esque type.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
so like with the Wendigo, it's all about it's accepting illusion and embracing reality. Like knowing what you're seeing is not true. So like in indigenous cultures, they're like, okay, if I hear a whistle in the woods and I didn't whistle, it's nobody that I know. I heard the sound. I don't have to go towards the sound. So like it's a proximal damage situation. Because if you do the right thing, you're not going to get close to the Wendigo.
But
I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to kind of like explain.
No. I know a lot about Wendigos and that sort of stuff. And I know.
I don't want to mansplain either, so I feel kind of
No. It's the problem is to take that and put it into a small escape room setting where there is also still a puzzle you have to solve and that sort of stuff.
Maybe this was my thought.
Sorry, for some reason you're kind of cutting out, Max.
What if the flaw has to be a phobia? That would make the Wendigo work.
Well, I just mean more so like the actual puzzle aspect of it.
So my thought was a puzzle, was like a maze, because it's a disorientation effect. Because a lot of times, like when you hear about a Wendigo in the culture, it's because somebody somewhere that they're unfamiliar with, and they're lost.
And you want to make it a right, left, right, left.
It's essentially what it turns into. Thank you so much. Left, right, left, right, left, right until you get home.
So if you have like 4 players, you could have like 4 chances to get all the way through the maze, and then like learn from others' mistakes, and then there would be high stakes.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the Wendigo is if you beat the Wendigo's trick, the Wendigo leaves because it can't beat on anyone.
That would be better in person, where I could have like a map or something with a maze, I think. But yeah,
You could make like a digital like maze for all of it, like everybody to follow. Like I wonder.
Like a graphic, like
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to. So Game Changer recently did this where they had like a game that they made, and it was like constant throughout. So like if all 3 people failed it, then they fail it. And then there's a consequence, and I guess we would get some derangements.
Yeah.
And
essentially like a simulator where you pick left, you pick right, and you're trying to pick the correct hallway.
Well,
That's a really good idea.
And we would just say right, left, right, left. And we would have to like track each other's responses if we wanted to try to be successful in the next option, in the next track.
Well, and you could even inhibit whether or not the other people observing, like people have to go in one at a time. So in
we
other
could
words,
spend cunning to be able to observe the other's responses.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to interrupt, but I gotta go.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Bye,
Walker.
Walker.
Well, next
We're
time.
basically doing the after hours right now.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Drizzle, that's cool. No, because we're doing the after hours just right now.
It's happening. It's already happening.
I just
need
didn't know if I need to stop and start again.
Nah, if we've
Okay.
it's already.
Yeah, we have to get up. Well, I have to get up pretty soon. I don't know about you, but I have, people to
Fact.
see.
I think you guys. Those are interesting ideas to mess with the rules, to use the rules in creative ways to get, that story across, like puzzles and doing the left right and someone fucked up. Well, I'm gonna use my resources cunning to stop and all that crap. It's pretty cool.
I will say, as far as like the physical building of games, I do that a lot in my job. Like Will, the person that I've talked about that you might actually talk to, we work on a coping skills game, and it's kind of like Candyland, but every time you move forward, you potentially take on a certain amount of damage, and you have to decide each time whether or not you're going to move or if you're going to take some kind of protective factor that takes some of the
That's
damage
cool.
off of you.
Yeah, that's neat.
And we're working on like building more to it. Like some of the cards are no longer like damage. They're just, they inhibit the methods that you can take to heal if you want to heal.
That's
Like
cool.
a coping skill, for example, if you listen to music and you sing along as a coping skill, well, you're in an area that you have to be quiet, so you can't do anything loud.
Right.
So you have to not use that skill. You have to choose another skill. It's maybe not so effective. So we do a lot of that.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. All right, let me do.
You quit. Like we can't hear you. You're like, let me do, and it stopped.
Same.
You want me to do
It's not just us.
You want me to do the outro?
Let me do.
Okay. Thank you all for listening to us tonight. Thank you for being there with me for my first running of a game. This has been DreadLore. I was the arbiter tonight, the Drizzle. We'd like to thank Bill for being here to play. We had Max and Jazzy Cabbage. We had Andrea and Hulker here, all playing the game. The music during part of the interlude that I was able to get to work was by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. We would like to thank our Patreon people, Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Holker. If you are interested in joining our Patreon, go to patreon.com/DreadLore, and you can sign up there, help us continue to do this and make it easier on us. We'd like to thank Couchfire Media for showing me how to get everything set up so that way I can run it while he's gone.
Hey.
And thanks to Terrible Productions for whatever they do.
No one knows.
If you want to stick around, we'll talk about the game some more. But if not, good night, and we'll see you later.
Bye.